What's up, people? All right, we got another week. It's Tuesday evening. That means it is time to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about a few things today. Let me make sure I get my notes first. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about, let's see here, cheat days. Are there better things to focus on than calories? And then how to schedule workouts and rest days. All right. I really appreciate the response you guys had to my question of topics. I got a bunch of things that we can talk about over the next few weeks. I wanted to talk about these three because they're not super long. I don't want to make them super long, but they're good ones, I think, that are pertinent. Um, and we can kind of knock those out. So let's see here. Who do we got? We got three people on. All right. Hey, don't forget, guys, when you get on here, type something in the comments. Say, hey, this is so and so, so I know who's watching, where you're from, whatever. I like to be able to interact a little bit. If you have questions, type them in the comments. This is kind of an interactive live thing. It's not just me talking at you. I love to get feedback if you have questions and answer your questions to help you kind of distill and understand the information, not just have it thrown at you. Okay. So let me go back to here. Where are we? Refresh this. See, I'm on live now, so my internet's now going slow. All right. Okay. Jimmy, you liked this, so I'm going to assume that means you're one of the people listening. How you doing? Nice to meet you. All right. Let's talk about cheat days. Okay. Everybody does it. Everybody has that time where they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do X, Y, or Z. So for me, when I go off track, when I go off plan, it's usually ice cream. I have hey Carla, what's up, Jimmy? Um, hey, two people from Texas. All right. I love Texas. If I ever retire, I'm retiring and going to Texas. I'll tell you that right now. Texas is where I'm going to end up. Um, Probably Austin or Corpus Christi. Very likely Corpus Christi, but who knows? Okay, what was I saying? Cheat days. We all have them. When I go off track, when I go off plan, it's usually with ice cream. I am in love with, if I could marry Ben and Jerry's Tonight Dough or Ben and Jerry's Netflix and Chilled, I probably would. That's my go-to kind of off-plan treat, like if you want to call it that. And that's really where things get tricky when we start classifying food as a treat, when we start classifying things as cheating. I'm going to get off the wagon. I got to get back on the wagon. I really wish we could think of food more in context of our goals and less in context of following a set of rules, right? Um, think about that. When you rules are limiting. Yes, rules for a lot of people, we think of rules in the context of following this set of rules allows you to progress in a certain way, and that's true. But when it comes to our lifestyle and our quality of life, putting rules on the things that we can or can't do to live is really restrictive. It really sets that mindset of restriction, moderation. It's the same as when we talk about losing fat versus building muscle. We're talking about restricting and limiting and locking ourselves down to a specific set of things that we can't do. Or we can only do this, we can't do that. And that can be defeatist. That can set us up for negative thoughts and a negative mental mindset when it comes to food. And food is not supposed to be good or bad. Food isn't good or bad. The outcome and the result, the reaction that our body has to food can be good or bad. The benefit that food has for our progress and our health can be negative or positive, but the food in and of itself is not good. The food in and of itself is not bad. Okay. So when we start thinking about what we're doing on a day-to-day basis when it comes to food, the question should be more geared towards your goal. And is this going to help me? Yes or no? Is this going to set me back? Yes or no? Am I going to feel good if I eat this? Yes or no? If I eat this, am I going to be in the toilet for an hour tomorrow morning? Will I be able to sleep? Will I feel bloated and gassy all night long? Will my husband or my wife kick me out of bed because I stink? whatever it may be. All right. You have to think in context of your goal, your quality of life. That is the first thing. When you think about it that way, you're no longer thinking about living a life of being strict and feeling restricted and compressed and stressed out all the time because you don't want to make a mistake. That is the worst feeling. That is one of the main reasons why people find traditional keto, the traditional way of doing keto or any diets that are based on restriction, okay, they find it hard to sustain. It's hard to maintain that willpower and that mental mindset of always being on track. I've got to stay on track. I've got to stay on track. I can't cheat. I can't do this. I can't do that. Right? It's just it's tiring. Okay. So when you think about it in context of your goals, where am I going? Is this helping me? Now you can look at it and say, you know what? I really feel like I would like some ice cream today. I know what this is going to do for me or not do for me. I know that if I eat this, I may get kicked out of ketosis. Okay. I realize that that's okay if I have a bowl today. As long as I don't have a bowl every day, multiple times a day, or whatever it may be, and I don't make it a habit and make eating ice cream a regular part of my routine, then I think it's probably okay this time. Right now, there's different, everyone's at a different point. We're not going to talk about if you have an addiction issue, if you're working through other things when it comes to food. That's a different discussion. But in general, if you reframe your mindset around food and not thinking about, you know, being 100% all the time, that stress to maintain perfection usually ends in failure. And then you get down on yourself, and then you can start a loop of, well, I didn't do it this time, so I might as well not even worry about it. And then you get on this track of, 3, 4, 5 days, which could turn into longer, of you being off track and off your plan because you've gotten in that negative loop, and you just figured, well, you let it go, you might as well stay there. And we don't want that to happen. If you just think of, hey, I want this, I'm in a social environment, whatever it is, whatever the situation, you could be by your home, by yourself at home and feel like you want to have a piece of pizza. Okay, go have a piece of pizza, have a blast, enjoy it, right? Just make it one. Okay, don't eat a whole pizza, right? And if you eat a whole pizza, deal with whatever physical side effects you're going to have, because you probably are going to have some physical side effects. Remind yourself, use that event to remind yourself why you're not eating pizza anymore. And then the next time you have an opportunity to eat in a way that's going to benefit you. It's not about eating according to a set of rules. It's not about doing what's right or wrong. Okay. You did something that was negative towards your body, turn it around. The next time you have an opportunity to do something that's positive for your body. That's all it is. It's about being consistent in making decisions that are positive for your body. That is all. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel like you need to get down on yourself if you have something that's not beneficial. It's okay. We're human. Sometimes, guys, we have vices for a reason, because there is something about our bodies, there's something about our minds, the way that we work. We want to do things that are enjoyable. And guess what? It's okay to do that. Okay. We just don't want to get caught in the trap of living in and living for the enjoyment only. And we want to make sure that we're still doing the work and doing things for that delayed gratification, because we know that quality of life is a greater level, a longer term enjoyment than that one instance you may have to deal with. Okay. Just think about that. Always keep the big picture in your mind. Always keep your goal in mind. And as long as you're doing things consistently to get there, if you have a little thing here or there where you get off plan, or you decide, hey, I want to enjoy the moment and have a glass of wine, have a shot of bourbon, whatever, then enjoy it, right? Enjoy life, guys. This is you your nutrition plan, your fitness plan should not be adding stress to your life. If it is adding stress to your life, you need to reframe how you're approaching it, because that's not how it's supposed to be. Okay. It should be adding to the enjoyment and the quality of life. It should not be adding stress. Right. So if you feel stressed because of how you're thinking about what your perspective on your nutrition and fitness plan is, take some time and think about, how can I reframe this in my mind so that I don't freak out every time something little that I feel sets me back or whatever happens. Okay, because it shouldn't be stressful. It really shouldn't. I don't want you guys to stress. Don't stress. All right, enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Trust the process. It'll work. Okay, so I hope that's it on cheating. Okay, remember, guys, I don't do cheat days. I don't do cheat meals. I for the most part, eat what I think is going to benefit me. And if I decide for any at any given time that I want to have something different that I know isn't going to necessarily benefit me in that moment, but I still feel like, you know what, I want to enjoy this, then I do it. And then the next time I have an opportunity, I get back on my plan and do what I know is going to be beneficial. Okay. 80-20 rule, guys. You cannot be 100% all the time. If you can be 80% most of the time, then you're doing better than average. Okay? Just remember that. Okay, it's trends, not points in time. Okay, that's another concept we can talk about maybe on another video. I can write that down. Trends, not points in time. That's why we don't weigh ourselves every day. That's why we don't do a body composition scan every day. Okay, once a week, once every other week, once a month is probably better to do a body comp scan, right? Because things change. We fluctuate up and down and left and right and front and back all the time. So what we want to look at is trends over time. That is more telling towards your progress than any one set of numbers, right? If you get on the scale today and you're at whatever, and then you get on the scale tomorrow and it's 3 pounds higher, oh my gosh, the world is ending. No, it's not, because you could get on the scale a week from now and it's 5 pounds less. All right. So let's get away from point in times. Let's get away from thinking about things in rules. There's no rule book to this. The only rule that you need to follow is this helping me or is this hurting me? That's it. Okay, no guilt. All right, that's cheat days. All right, let's see here. Central Iowa, what's up, Lisa? My Lisa. I don't know if your name is my Lisa. If your name is my Lisa, hi, my Lisa. You never know with Facebook names. I see people have their names on here all the time. That's not actually their name. So, hello from Central Iowa, I will say. Um, okay. Hey, Carla's on too. What's up, Carla? Carla, where in Texas are you from? I'd love to know. Are you from Corpus too? Are you from Corpus? When I said Corpus, is that where I like yes? Or Austin, which one or the other? Um, okay. Talking about cheat days, talking about what's going to work better for you versus what's going to stall or halt your progress or set you back. Are there better things to focus on than calories? This is a huge topic of discussion, particularly, hope I enunciated that enough, that since I am a advocate of, and I usually recommend to people to use a 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to their macronutrient plan. Okay. 1-to-1 is, hey, what's up, Jennifer from Tennessee? 1-to-1 is basically if you break down your food macronutrients into two categories. Okay, I'm going to try to do this quickly. If you break your macronutrients down into two categories, one is building blocks for metabolic function, and the other one is fuel for metabolic function. Okay, one is the material, the gears, the mechanics of your metabolism, and then the other one fuels your metabolism. Okay, so awesome, Carla. I want to get to, I plan on going to Corpus right before the whole lockdown and everything. So I got to get that back on my schedule. I was going to go out for like a week and just kind of chill out and take a break on the beach. I heard you can drive your car on the beach. I want to do that. Um, so when we talk about 1-to-1, what we're talking basically about is protein being the building blocks, the gears, the mechanics, the machinery of your body, and then fat and carbs together being the fuel for your metabolism. Okay. So we want to maintain a ratio of at least 1-to-1 when we eat. So if I eat uh, 150 grams of protein a day, I want to eat 150 grams of fat and carbs combined. So that could be 75 of each. All right. That is the 1-to-1 ratio. That is the basis, the foundation, the starting point. And these are the key words, guys. The starting point for you to set your macros and then Adjust as you progress from there. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Most people, when they start with their macros at 1 to 1, okay, I tell them to start with one of two things. Either if you can get it, if you have a body scan, if you get a DEXA, an InBody, or some other Renfo, whatever, there's a bunch of different brands out there, get your lean mass. What is your lean mass? So for me, I weigh 190 pounds, 185 pounds. I have about 170 pounds of lean mass. Okay, so that's basically all of my body minus fat. Okay, so let's just say we'll do the math, make the math easy. If I weigh 200 pounds and I'm 20% body fat, then I have 180 pounds, sorry, 160 pounds, 20%, right? Yeah, 160 pounds of lean mass. Okay, so my goal would be to eat at least 160 grams of protein and no more than 160 grams of fat and carbs combined. Okay, that can be 80 and 80. It could be 60 and 100, however you want to break it up. Okay, no more, no less. Okay, so no less than 160. Keep this in mind. There's differences here. With protein, it is a minimum. You can always go higher. With fuel, with fat and carbs combined, it is a maximum, but you can go lower. Okay, here's how that works. Most people starting on 1 to 1, okay, will start off struggling to meet their initial protein goal. Okay, if you look at your lean mass and your lean mass is 120 grams, chances are, for the most part, for 95% of the people out there, you normally don't eat that much protein. So trying to get to that amount of protein is going to be difficult because you are not used to feeding yourself that much. Okay, you're going to get full and you're going to struggle to reach your protein. All right. Particularly if you're used to adding a lot of fat to your food and you're focused on calories. Here's where things get really funky and where people's brains break a little bit. Okay. When you change your focus from calories and fat, because that's what a lot of keto people, a lot of carnivore people even are thinking more about fat, their fat calories. I need so many calories. I need my percentage of calories to come from fat so I can stay in ketosis. Okay. When you stop thinking about that and you start focusing on, I need to get my protein, that's where the magic happens. Okay. A couple of things happen here. One, you're already maintaining low carbs. All right. You have body fat to lose. You're focusing on protein. So your protein goes up. You start building lean mass. You start burning more fat, even when you're not working out. Okay. What happens when you prioritize protein, and this is really awesome, is your body will start to upregulate the amount of energy it needs to work every day. Okay. It has nothing to do with fat, guys. It's not the fat that does it. Here's the deal. When we talk about calories and we talk about BMR, everyone thinks about, I need a surplus of calories to increase my fat burn, right? We talk about it all the time. If you eat more, you end up burning more. It's not the calories that do that, guys. Calories don't fill you up. Okay, that we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a second. All right. I don't want to get sidetracked. Your base metabolic rate goes up from one thing: more lean mass. The only way nutritionally to increase your lean mass is to eat more protein. Okay. You cannot lose fat by eating fat, period. That might blow your brain. That might not be anything you've ever heard before. You can get fat off of eating too much fat. You need to have a limit on the fat that you are eating. If you overeat fat, it will make you fat. Okay. You cannot overeat protein. Not going to happen. Okay. The best way to change your body composition is to increase the protein that you're eating and maintain or decrease the fat and carbs that you're eating to the same or less than the protein that you're eating. Okay. That's why the 1 to 1 ratio is so awesome and works so amazingly. Okay. Um, if you start off at 1 to 1, okay, and You feel like I'm feeling good, whatever. You hit a stall after a couple months. Most people, when they start off with one-to-one, they see a fairly quick, within a couple weeks, they start seeing some fat loss. They start seeing some changes in their body. Okay. And then it stops. Usually, what that means is your body's metabolism has upregulated enough to start processing the protein that you have, that you're taking in. Take more. Okay. Most people starting off with one-to-one within several months are usually up to 1.25 to 1.5 grams per pound of lean mass in their protein. Okay. That's going to get you back to, if you're looking at calories, that's going to get you back to the calorie count that you're used to eating. But you're going to be getting so much more out of it because protein is more dense than fat when it comes to nutrients to energy. Okay. And that's the other part I want to talk about. That's why calories don't matter when you're focusing on protein. If you focus on getting the protein your body needs, you're going to increase your satiety. You're going to get full faster and stay full longer. You're going to do that getting less overall fuel calories than you normally get, which means your body is going to burn the fuel it has stored in it, not the fuel that you're putting in your face. Okay. You do not get fat. Sorry, you do not get full off of calories. You get full off of nutrition. So when we talk about being nutrient dense, what we're talking about is the foods that have the most nutrients tend to be the foods with the least calories. So if you're eating food that is nutrient dense, meat, you are going to get less fuel calories for it, and your body will be better, have better body composition because of that. Okay, because nature prioritizes protein, so you should too. All right. I hope that explains it a little bit. I do not focus on calories. Calories to me are a part of the equation at the very end of a whole chain of things that I look at when I'm working with a client. Okay. If we've gone through a whole bunch of things and we're trying to make some tweaks and do some fine tuning, I may look at calories based on a matrix. But for the most part, I don't really give a crap about calories. Okay. So we want to make sure that you're getting the protein that you need. If you have fuel stored on your body, then you don't need to eat it. That's the bottom line. All right. Hope that answers that question. Okay. Are there better things to focus on than calories? Absolutely. Focus on getting the protein that your body needs. Everything else will fall into place from there. Okay. All right. Let's see. How to schedule workouts and rest days. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. The easiest thing to do, one, it's hard to schedule workouts if you don't actually have a plan of what your workouts are going to be. So step number one, get a plan. If you don't have a plan, sign up for a program that can give you one. Okay. I.e., the example being the one that I have, Apex at Home. Okay, you get an app, you get 5 workouts delivered to your phone every week. So you have 5 workouts you can do Monday through Friday. You can move them around. If you can't do Wednesday, do it on Saturday, whatever. You get 5 workouts, yours to pick and choose when and how you do them. You can do them at home, you can do them at the gym. Okay. But if you don't have that, that is the first step. You need to know what are you going to do. That's step number one. Okay. Step number two, you need to try it out for a while and see how it works. Okay. For most people, your schedule is the first determining factor that will give you an idea of how many days a week you can train, right? Do I work night shift? Do I work 3 days on, 2 days off? Do I work a regular 9 to 5? Whatever it may be, right? Do I have to take my kids in the morning to school or daycare? Do I have to pick them up in the evening? Is there a gym near me? Am I going to work out at home? Like, just figure, what is your lifestyle going to support? That's the next thing. Okay. If your lifestyle is only going to support 3 days a week, then guess what? You're working out 3 days a week. Okay. If your lifestyle supports, I can work out 7 days a week if I want to, then maybe start off. If you haven't had any experience, maybe start off with 3 days a week. Okay. The next piece, after you have a plan and you figure out what your schedule is going to support, the next piece is to do something and see how your body responds. Follow something 3 days a week, for example, for a month. Feel yourself, get in touch with yourself. Do I feel like crap? Do I feel sore? Do I feel worn down? Do I have enough energy? Are my workouts feeling worse and worse as I go along? Whatever it may be. Do I feel like I'm getting stronger and stronger as I go along? Right? There, you have to do some self-evaluation as you go through this process. Okay. Most people, when they're first getting started out, 3 days a week is fine. Okay, for a half an hour to an hour workout. Depending on your desire, I'm 48, I'll be 49 in a couple months. I work out 6 days a week, sometimes seven. Even on the days that I'm resting, I find myself at the gym sometimes doing something. Maybe not super hard, maybe not super heavy, but moving my body and just trying to stay limber and active. Okay, I go hiking, I do a bunch of other stuff as well. So, I'm doing something probably 5 to 6 days a week on average that's fairly active. That doesn't have to be you, but keep in mind, what are your goals? Where are you trying to go? What is it? What is the end result that you're trying to get to? Okay. So always keep that in mind. Guys, no matter what we're talking about, your goal is always, why are you doing this? What are you trying to get to? Where are you trying to be? That is always the determining factor that you should make every single decision on. Is this going to help you get there or not? If you're overtraining, if you decide to start working through some pain, through some being uncomfortable, I feel wore down all the time, whatever it may be, and you decide, I got to keep doing it, I got to keep doing it. Well, now you're defeating the purpose. Now you're wearing yourself out and you're going to get to a point where you can't work out, right? And then you're setting yourself back. And that is not a decision that's going to help you reach that long term goal. Okay. So that's on the other side of things, scheduling workouts and rest days. Rest days need to be part of your training as well. Okay. Like I said, I take at least one rest day a week. And depending on how I feel, I may take more. Right. The last 3 weeks has been the CrossFit Open, super intense, super hard workouts once a week. Right. That one workout, the intensity level is really super high. So for the weeks in between those workouts, I took 2 or 3 rest days. I only did like 2 workouts a week besides those. So I was down to 3 workouts a week essentially. And I was taking a couple days in between where I would do nothing, or I would go for a hike, or I would just sit, go to the gym and stretch and roll out for a little bit, right? Just to make sure that I was ready for and recovered well enough from these really super high intense workouts, right? And then this week, I'm going in, but I'm not doing full workouts like I normally would. I'm going to start those up again next week. Okay. You have to listen to your body. The biggest mindset shift when it comes to health and fitness for most people is understanding that you do not have to do anything. There are no rules. There is no single best way to do anything. The only thing that matters, and this is up to each of you to determine, is what is best for you in the moment. What is the best plan? What is the best course of action? And what is working? What is not working? Okay. 90% of the time, when somebody asks me a question, my first response is, what is your goal? My second response is what you were trying working or not? If it was working, then why are you looking to change it? If it's not working, let's talk about some things and see if we can figure out something that's going to work. Okay. Too often we get caught up in what's newest and what's fancy and what's cool and what's the latest biohack, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you're already on track and things are working well, leave it alone. Okay. Just stick with what's working and trust the process. All right, guys. All right. So that's it. I hope that was some information you guys can use. Does anybody have any other questions? Hey, Loretta, how you doing? High satiety is the bomb. Yes, I love being full. Guys, it's one of the coolest things about eating a keto carnivore lifestyle, okay? Following this lifestyle. You can literally stuff your face every single day. There is not a single day in the past 3 years almost. May 1st, it will be 3 years that I've been carnivore. There is not a single day in the past 3 years that I have been hungry. There's not a single day where I have looked at a plate and said, I don't want to eat that. I'm not sure if I should have it. Right? If it's there, it's meat. If it's meat, I'm eating it. It's that simple. And if I want more, I'm going to go get more meat. Right? That's just how things are for me. I do not ever have to be hangry. I don't ever feel like I'm depriving myself. Um, it's fantastic to be able to stuff your face every day with things you like. Like who doesn't want enough? Who doesn't want to eat bacon every day? Bacon. I got a new air fryer. Ooh, I got a new air fryer. I got a 10-quart instant vortex, the same people that make Instapot. I got a 10 quart. It's got two trays. It can hold 4 pounds of meat. That's really awesome. Um, I made some ground beef the other day. I put uh, sausage. I put Polish sausage in there today. Oh my God, it was the best sausage I had ever had in my life. So if you don't have an air fryer, get a freaking air fryer. All right, that's my plug for the day. All right, no more questions, guys. I will save this. You can see it in the group, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Don't forget, every Tuesday, all right, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. we'll be doing this. Um, for now, that may change. Just a heads up now. In May, that may change to a different day because I'm going to start bowling on Tuesday nights. So see you.